Okay, so hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I am not Debbie and I am not Allison. I'm Stacy Esser, and I asked Debbie and Allison if it was okay if I introduced them because I am so fortunate and happy and grateful that they are a part of our team. And I wanted to just give a little intro about who they are, and then I'll let them take it away. So Allison has been working with the SEG team since 2019, and Allison came to SEG with a background with the second largest insurance company, and her focus was all on luxury clients, dealing with evaluations and dealing with inspections, and a lot of her clients have now transitioned with her into the home buying and home selling process. But what I loved about Allison was when I asked her why she wanted to make the transition into real estate, her answer was so genuine and authentic. And what she said to me was she felt like she could make a bigger impact for her clients and with her clients if she was working in real estate with them. And since then, just on our team last year, she's helped over 26 families and done over $20 million in sales just last year. So I am a huge fan of Allison's, and I'm just grateful that she's with the SEG team in Pascack Valley. So thanks. Debbie, I remember when I met Debbie and I asked Debbie why she wanted to be in real estate, Debbie said to me, I am a connector. I have been connecting people to everything they could possibly need for as long as I could remember. And now I want to put that superpower to work to help families even more. So Debbie is with me for about 2 years with the SEG team. And Debbie also helped over 20 families last year and did over 20 million. Together, Debbie and Allison run the SEG team in the Keller Williams office in Woodcliff, in the Pascack Valley region. Debbie grew up in Alpine. She now lives in Woodcliff, and Allison is a native Bergen County and is now living in Upper Saddle River. I did it. So yeah. Together they run the world over there, and I'm madly in love with the two of them. And I'm so grateful that you guys are all here to listen to everything. We are going to give this presentation over to Allison and Debbie. I just want to say if you have questions or if you want to make comments, I'm going to be reading the chat the whole time, and hopefully we'll go in and we'll grab those questions. And if we miss it, then we'll have time at the end. So with that, I'm so happy and so excited to hand this over to Miss Allison and Debbie, and take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introductory.
Thank you, Stacy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Allison Berkowitz. As Stacy had mentioned, I'm partnered with Debbie out in the Pascack Valley region. We are Keller Williams out of Woodcliff Lake. So we are the SEG Realty. We actually operate out of 3 different Keller Williams offices. So we're really covering all of our bases in Bergen County, and we're excited to do so. We are extremely proud to say that last year in 2021, we as a team have helped over 150 families, over $150 million in sales. So we're extremely proud about that. We definitely sell more homes for more money than the competition, whether it's just starting out, moving on. We have the resources to help you. We guide you every step of the way. And I promise that's the only commercial plug for this evening.
I just want to say one more thing. We are I have to tell you, we are recording.
Oh.
We are recording this just so everybody knows. So I'm sorry, I had to say that.
Thank you. So if you're not doing so already, we encourage you to subscribe, follow, like us. We are out there on almost every social media platform. Our newsletter is exclusive content, real-time commentary on our market and what we are seeing and experiencing. So it's incredibly valuable. If you have your phone right now, and if you're not on it, definitely scan the QR code that you see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and you can start to sign up for the newsletters right away. So going over tonight, we're going to be going over everything about the process of real estate, from pre-market to on-market and contract to close. And I'm going to hand the baton over to Debbie Perlman.
So we're going to start right out with talking about what kind of mistakes you could make as a seller. And then we're going to tell you and teach you exactly all the right things to do to get the most amount of money for your home, because isn't that the goal of every seller? No seller ever comes to us and says, no, I don't really want to get the most amount of money for my home. Just sell it. Most don't say that. So top mistakes is overpricing their home. We want you to price your house exactly in the right spot to get the most amount of money. Overlooking repairs, even simple minor repairs. We want the buyers to come in your house and feel like your house is in tip-top shape. Leaving pest or termite damage untreated. And this is something that we'll talk about a little bit further on, how to make sure that that's not a problem and how to look for that. Not allowing proper access to the agent. If somebody needs to show your house, we want to hopefully, I know it might be an inconvenience, you have to get the dog out, but we want to make it accessible. Not cleaning or decluttering your home, and we're going to talk all about that going into the presentation. Leaving your house on the market too long without a price or marketing adjustment. And that's where we will work hand in hand with you to make that happen. And staying in the house while it's being shown. We want the buyers to feel like they can envision themselves in that home, not in your space with you there. And the most important thing that we can't emphasize enough is to take off your seller hat and your homeowner hat, which is an emotional one, and to start to think like a buyer. The buyer wants to come into your home and they want to feel an instant emotional connection to the space. And the best way to do that is to help them not necessarily see your things, but imagine their things. With that, we want them to have a value perception so that they see that they're going to get great value from buying your home that's going to be their home. And we always want to put in a compelling price, which is going to trigger the bid. We want there to be excitement around your house and for your house to be the one that everybody wants to buy. The more that everybody wants to buy it, the more bids we're going to get. And then we're going to work really hard to meet or exceed those buyers' expectations, as well as the agents. Selling to the local agents who are representing those buyers is as much a big of the piece of the puzzle. So all of these things are the recipe for success. And we're going to teach you tonight how to get to that recipe for success. First and foremost, especially if you've been living in your home a really long time and you have a strong emotional connection to the house full of memories in your home and you have memories in every room, little by little, you need to start to separate from that so that you can separate. It is a business transaction. We understand that emotion is a part of it. We know it's your biggest asset. So think of it as a project and we're going to work together with you to achieve that. You are not going to be alone in doing that. So phase one, that's where we're getting to the pre-market. This is the stuff that we're going to help you to get it ready. And the biggest thing that we can say here is that we want to prep slow and sell fast. There is never too early of a time to get started. So we're going to talk about what are your goals and timing? Where are you going? What is the pricing strategy? Staging and styling. Getting the house ready to look tip-top shape, and then bulletproofing the inspection. All of these things are going to help to get the most amount of money for your home. And something that makes us a little bit different is that we are really there every step of the way to make that happen for you. And it's never too early. Even if you're thinking, I don't want to sell for 2 years, you could set up a meeting with us and we can start talking about it. We do that with sellers all the time. I had somebody call me last week and say, I'm thinking about doing this renovation. We want to redo our bathroom. And we have 4 bedrooms upstairs, but we think we want to go in another bedroom and make it only 3 bedrooms. Do you think that'll hurt us or help us? And they're not ready. They want to live in the house for another bunch of years, but they're already thinking about it. So we had a tough discussion about it. And guess what? They're going to start their reconstruction. They're not going to get rid of that extra bedroom, but they figured out how to make it work without doing that. And it was a conversation we had early. So that's critical. Goals and timing. Again, we're going to prep slow. We're going to sell fast. It usually signals a life change when you're selling your home. So we know that you're going to start a new chapter. You're going to close a chapter, and we'll do it and help you do it little by little.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Debbie. So yes, goals and timing is an extremely important first step to prepping your home for the market. We're going to sit with you individually. We're going to talk about what your goals are, and then we're going to discuss the timing. This conversation is going to be practical and it's going to be a little emotional too, but we're going to be there with every step of the way for you. We understand how to navigate both the practical and the emotional aspects of getting your home on the market. So we're going to ask you, what comes next? What is your goal? When do you want to be there? We're going to go all over this. So in order to get you there, we need to know the timing, and the contract to close is going to be about 2 to 3 months. So knowing your end date is going to be exactly what we need to know when we need to begin, right? On the market, it's going to be about 1 week to 2 months. And then pre-market is going to be 2 weeks to 2 months, because again, we need to prep slow to sell fast. Pricing strategy. We often get this. Is this a seasonal market? There really is no seasonal market. People get focused on, is this a buyer's market, a seller's market? It doesn't really matter. The pricing strategy always remains the same no matter the market. The buyers right now are exhausted in this market. This is a super seller's market. We all know it. I'm sure you've heard of it. They've been at this for a while. They've waited on the long lines at the open house. They're tired of missing out on homes, and they're sick and tired, frankly, of the bidding wars. So with this,
Allison, I'm sorry, there was a question on, when you said, don't worry about the season, are you saying, the question was, is it better to sell in the spring or in the fall? Because typically spring is a better season. That was a chat question.
yes. So honestly, in the super seller market that we're in right now, it's always a great time. There is so much pent up demand still. There's a lot of buyers who have missed out, and they're essentially waiting in line, waiting for the next home to pop up, that at this point in time, any time is the right time. And we encourage you not to miss out on this opportunity. And we'll get into the whole market stats, and you'll understand why we are saying don't miss out on this opportunity. So with the pricing strategy, we essentially go over 3 different levels of pricing. Listing above market, which at that point you are actually looking for the needle in haystack. Listing at market, which is where we have pulled comps and found that your home's value stands. And listing just below the market. Listing just below the market is where you will create a frenzy, right? So the buyers who are out there right now, frustrated, losing out on bidding wars, they have reduced their budget, okay? Knowing and understanding that at this point in time, in order to win the bid, they're going to have to come up about 10%, 15% in some areas. So again, we go over this when we sit with you individually. It depends on your neighborhood. It depends on your home, and we'll go over that. And here we are. Buyers are shopping below their budget. So I love this image. This is an image of 2 different restaurants, right? The image on the left, it almost appears like the very beginning of the pandemic. Image on the right is a popping restaurant. You can imagine it probably has 4.5 plus Google reviews with 1,000 reviews. It's the talk of the town, it's the buzz, and everybody wants to be there. So we love this image because we like you to take a look at it and relate it to an open house. We always want to have an open house associated just like the restaurant on the right. We want the line, right? Buyers want what other buyers want. So that is our hyper focus. Bulletproofing your inspection. So what does this mean? We always encourage our sellers to do a pre-inspection on their homes. So what value does that offer to you as a seller? It gives you all the information up front, because ideally we want you to negotiate once, and that's at the price, not at the inspection, okay? Having a pre-inspection and having an inspector walk through your home to point out certain information, such as you see in the image, mouse droppings, want to clean that up. Check your circuit breakers, see if you have any corrosion. They're going to be looking for any type of water damage. Servicing your systems is something we always recommend. And with the servicing of your systems, we recommend changing out the filters, vacuuming out the vents. These are things that the buyers are looking for now. And when they see these things, they're automatically thinking, well, if they're not maintaining the home in this way, what are behind the walls? And we're getting into the nitty gritty of staging and styling. I'm going to pass the baton over to my partner, Debbie. Debbie, you want to take this?
Thank you, Allison. And just one little.
Before you go, I'm sorry, Debbie, there was another
Yeah.
question about pre-inspection. I'm sorry. So the question was, do you have to fix everything in the house once you have that inspection?
Absolutely not. So major issues you're going to have to disclose if you don't want to address it. It's always best to disclose it if you know about it. So that way the buyers know what they're buying into.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So I was going to follow up, Allison, with just saying that. And sometimes we do have people who will say, but I just want to sell my house as is. They'll just take it as is. I'll let the buyers fix it up. And we will recommend, and of course it's ultimately your decision, that if there are certain things that maybe you want to sell as is, like that something is no longer working and you haven't used it in 10 years, we can put that right in the disclosure. For example, the garbage disposal isn't working. We'll put that there if you don't want to replace the garbage disposal, and that's okay. You're disclosing that from the very beginning. So it's not like you have to replace everything in your house with all new. So we don't want you to think that necessarily. So now let's get to staging and styling.
Debbie, I just want to point out one thing as it relates to bulletproofing for inspection. Again, the idea for a pre-inspection is that there are no surprises. If you want to sell your house as is, we know how to do that. It's not a problem. We just want to know what we're dealing with so that your price is not renegotiated or you don't lose a buyer because they found an underground oil tank that they didn't know about, right? Which has happened to us, all of us as a team. So you think you know everything about your house, it's impossible. So knowing everything up front is smarter as a seller to know how to strategize even your as is sale. You just need to know. And that is the absolute 100% purpose of that pre-inspection, is that you need to know, and don't think you do know, because we've had these experiences and people, it's very hard to know what you don't know. That's the answer. Sorry. I'll say that.
Exactly. Perfect.
All right. Keep going, Deb. Sorry.
Okay. So now we're going to get to the part where is all about coming up and showing the buyers on a first impression how fabulous your home is. And we want to showcase that. So every person who works with us, every seller gets the opportunity to work with our staging team. And we're unique in that Stacy is a certified staging expert. She has a certification in it. And we have a dedicated in-house stager styler on staff. And everybody, no matter the price point of their home, benefits from that service. So we offer sort of 3 levels of packaging. Level 1, where we'll come in, we'll make the recommendations to you on things that you can execute, even if it's just decluttering, getting the room ready, maybe doing some painting and prepping, and we will give you access to our preferred vendors and handymen to help you with all of that. Level 2 is we'll do styling and accessorizing, but not necessarily moving furniture and doing a full stage. And then level 3 is where we do a full stage, which is level 1 and 2, plus bringing in furniture, helping you move out your furniture. And all of this we do as complimentary, but we do recommend for you with regards to handymen and painters, and that would be your cost. And then even with the moving furniture, we do that complimentary. We unfortunately do not yet own our own moving company. So the cost of the moving the furniture in, as well as helping you move your furniture into storage or into your garage, which is where most of our sellers end up putting their own things, will be ready to go. And the professional movers will take care of that with white glove service. And it'll be ready for you when you're ready to move out. So if you think of it as you're going to have to move everything anyway, better to start before you put it on the market. So now let's give you some examples. Take a look at this. The picture on the left is after our certified stager came in. She took some pictures, she made some recommendations. Fiona is amazing, that's our stager, and handed this off to the seller. And the simple things of removing window treatments, lightening and brightening the house, getting rid of that dark wallpaper and painting it fresh made all the difference. Now, this homeowner benefited by a level 3 staging. We staged the whole house, and I'm happy to say this house was right here on Woodcliff Lake. It never made it to the market. We brought in one of our pre-approved buyers who ended up buying the house from the seller and made them a compelling offer that it actually never went to market.
And Debbie, can I point out too, the picture on the right, they did not add any lights. They just
changed the lights.
They changed the light bulbs,
but
they didn't add any, but it looks like there's so much more light in it.
Correct.
So that was all from the painting. Is that what you all are saying?
Yeah. And changing some light bulbs from a duller, older light bulb color to a brighter whiter color, which helps with the pictures also. Now this slide shows you, again, you can see on the left where suggestions were made, but this is the homeowner's own furniture. All we did was kind of move the furniture around a little bit, open up the space, again, change the lighting, added some side lamps, and it's the same room. A few accessories, you see that throw blanket over the bench, and look at how warm and inviting it is. Same space. And what if you don't really want to move your furniture around, or you have an empty house? We also have the option of virtually staging. And you can take an empty room, fill it with furniture. I think we have some other options here, just with virtual Photoshop. We took an unfinished basement, added in a ceiling, made it look like this inviting space to hang out and play, all with the use of Photoshop. Okay, here, I'm going to ask you, take a look at this photo. Put in the chat box, what do you see? What does this room say to you when you're looking at it? Kind of know what it says to me. It looks dark. It looks a little crowded. It looks like I've run out of space. I don't even have room for anything in this room. I've got my music stand in the middle of the room, and it just feels closed off.
Yeah, we're getting stuff in the chat. They're saying dark, crowded,
Yeah.
there's no more space, see
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
So let's go. Let's do the big reveal, Allison. Same room, everybody. Same room. We removed those heavy draperies. We changed the lighting. The furniture got lightened and brightened. Look how giant this room looks.
I'm going to go back and forth so that they can see.
Awesome. Go back and forth. Same room. Same room.
Huge. Big difference.
Which one do you think you want to move into? So now, why are we staging? Most of our buyers in today's market are millennials. This is the generation that has lived with HDTV and Instagram. They know exactly what a great looking space should look like, and they are aspiring to it. They want that. They're very, very visual. They have sensory overload from social media, and we want to create that visual for them. They're also shopping online. And they are online first before they ever step a foot into your house. So the more that we can draw them in with those first impression photos, the better we're going to be. The other thing is they want move-in ready, and they're willing to pay for it. So if we make it look like it's move-in ready, then we're going to get them to want to move into your house. And again, few stats. Why does it matter? We polled all of our agents as well as other agents. Stage homes are going to create the immediate connection. They're going to sell for more money, and they're going to sell faster. It's a simple fact. Here's the proof. And I love this because this is a house that we put on the market right here in Woodcliff Lake 2 weeks ago. Okay. This room had not been decorated since it was originally done, I think 40 or 50 years ago. What does the first picture say to you? Dark, kind of old fashioned. Same room to the right. This home was painted. This, again, same house, same exact house, dark dining room that was not necessary.
I just have to stop. This picture, I mean, this is crazy. Okay. I mean, crazy. I'm sorry. I can't see everybody's faces because their faces aren't on the screen, but I'm hoping that everybody's mouths are dropped open. Can I just say, like, think of your house as a treasure trove, like you're on a treasure hunt. So go back, Allison, go back to that picture. So if you have beautiful wood floors hidden by carpeting.
This homeowner did not know those wood floors were there. They did not know they were there. We peeled up a corner and we said, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And then we whitewashed it. The whole house was painted. It was a matter of a week and a half to get it ready. The homeowner decluttered, put all their stuff, their furniture got moved out, and it got reimagined into this incredible home office. We had over 80 people come through the house that first weekend. They were lined up down the block.
It was dizzying.
Allison and I didn't see. At one point I asked her, I said, Miss, are you with an agent? And I actually said it to Allison because I didn't even recognize her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
At any rate, we had multiple offers and we hadn't accepted over after.
So I just want to say something for you all that are thinking about your spaces. It is overwhelming to think about doing this. It is why it's so important that you reach out to our team early, because whether you decide to stage or not stage, or whether it's just styling or just decluttering, or maybe we're doing it virtually, we find your comfort level and we go with it. We find your comfort level, we go with it. I think that when you get off of this presentation, go into one of your favorite rooms of your house and look at that space and just ask yourself, like, what is this room saying, right? And why did you fall in love with this room? So in this particular photo, the focal point of this room is clearly the fireplace, but you can't even see the fireplace when you're looking at the way the room looked before we move things around. You don't see it. So just remember, when you're looking at your own space, the agents are selling the lifestyle and they're selling your space. They're not selling your stuff, right? So it's important to just think about it that way. I'm sorry. You could move to the next.
Can I just emphasize on something really quick that Debbie mentioned too, because I think this is important, because this whole process can come across daunting to many people. This is the same house. So in this picture, the before and after, and then in this picture, and something that you said is very important. It only took a week and a half to transform this house. That's not a long time.
No, but if you want to have a longer time frame because it takes you a lot to move out emotionally and to declutter, we understand that.
Right.
But this was a team effort, family, agents, handymen, stylers.
Debbie, there was a question on the chat that said, if they decide to paint, do you have people that are going to be responsive? Because they are having a hard time getting people to respond to them in this environment.
And that is such a real question. And that's where it's so helpful, because once you start working with us, we have a pretty amazing list of people that we rely on, and they are able to move quickly for us. And they know that we need to move fast, and they are available. And I could attest to it. I mean, if we have clients who, I wish we had clients on here and they would all like raise their hand and go, yes, yes, because that is what happened.
Yeah,
and
we make one phone call to them and they're out for us.
And they'll come and give you an estimate. We even have more than one that can both give you estimates, and who's going to be able to work on the timetable that we need. Yeah. So this next house, also Allison and I had a similar home. This was a cozy family room, cozy, but dark. That is actually wood paneling on the wall. Boom. Again, total whitewash, painted the home. We whitewashed the fireplace. We opened up the windows. Look at this light coming through that big, beautiful picture window that was behind blinds for years and years. Amazing.
And I want to point out too, the paneling is painted.
Yeah,
okay, right. Yeah, you guys, these pictures are wild. I'm just saying, I know these are our houses. So one thing that was very clear to me, I'm going to say this, if it's okay. Why did I invest in a staging company and literally an entire warehouse of furniture just for our clients? So there are things we know we can't change about a house. We can't change the location of the house. We can't change the size of your property. The one thing that we can change is the way that a buyer feels about your space. We can change that. We don't even need to do it in every room. We'll prioritize which rooms matter the most. And the other big thing is paint and lighting are always the best bang for your buck. You always get a 100 times investment on paint and lighting.
And one other thing is that, which is so critical to what Stacy just said, when a buyer comes in and they might see your dark paint, and look at the picture on the left here. By the way, this is the same house as the last one where we painted the brick. They had a mural on the wall in the dining room and those heavy drapes. The buyer inevitably will calculate 4 times as much money as it's going to cost you to paint the room. And then they discount in their head the price that they want to offer.
Yep.
So you putting in a little bit of an investment as the seller to paint and light and brighten can make all the difference. Again, this house also was under contract after 2 weekends and over asking. Here, this is our favorite SEG story. Absolute favorite. This house was sitting on the market for months. The homeowner had a price that they wanted on the house, and they just weren't getting that price. We then ended up lowering the price, and still the highest bid that we got was almost $100,000 under the price that they wanted. So we took it off the market. We did a little bit of a revamp in painting, again, with one of our amazing contractors. They painted the cabinets. You can look in the back. Didn't change any flooring. We took out their dark furniture, brought in light furniture, and then in one weekend, actually one day, I think,
Yeah.
they triggered the bid that was $57,000 over asking, and it was accepted and the house was sold.
Wait, and I want to say this, which is very interesting. The person that bid on the house had seen the house before and did not place a bid. So the person that ended up coming in and bidding 57,000 over ask had seen it before and didn't do anything,
It's crazy.
which is interesting.
Which is crazy. So now let's talk about some of the staging and styling tips that you could start even thinking about as you look into your own home today. Even if you're not ready, or if you are ready, what can you start tomorrow? You're motivated, you heard this presentation. So these are the things that matters to today's buyers. Look right there at storage. Storage is key. Organizing, removing the clutter, a great laundry room or laundry space, even if you don't have a laundry room, a home office or a dedicated workspace. COVID has changed everything. This is a key room in a house today and really important to today's buyers. And if you can create any place outside that can feel like an extension of your home, a staycation living room space, that is also key. And that is what's going to make the difference to your buyers. Depersonalizing and decluttering. Take a look at the room on the left. There's just a lot of noise. Feel the noise. You want to understand who your buyer is today and what they're willing to pay up for, and paying up for that open feel, open concept space. That first room, the way the furniture is placed, you're blocking off access to that big room right beyond that gives you the whole open concept feel. So just by removing some furniture, it makes you feel that. Today's buyers, unlike us when we were looking for houses back in the day, they don't have any vision.
None.
They need to have that instant gratification. Think of them as that Amazon generation. They click a button and they get what they want. So even if within spaces in your home, you could create an aspirational space, looking at a basement where your ping pong table has been folded up and against the wall for the last 10 years. Let's clear out the space, remove what you were using as storage, put that ping pong table back and show them how the space can be used. And again, the one on the left showing you another type of a home office. And setting the stage, making it inviting. Again, here you have where we take an open room where sometimes a big giant space, you might think, well, that's going to be easier for the buyer to imagine their things. But remember, they have no imagination. So by creating the space, either virtually or actually with furniture, helps them to see how they can use the space. Brightening your room. Again, another home that we had on the market and is currently under contract was beautifully decorated when it was done in the time period, but it didn't feel bright. Homeowner, bang for your buck is painting, opening up the curtains and the draperies, feeling yourself in the space, and good lighting. All the
Can you
lights-
go back? Can you go back to that one
Yeah,
for a second?
absolutely. And we got a chat too. Somebody's saying, wow, what a difference.
So
It's like a different home. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. It looks like a new construction.
So, and they changed every light bulb in the house. They did do that to make it bright. We took off all the draperies. We painted the house just fresh and clean. And really this home did feel like a new construction home. Massive amount of people.
I also want to say something. If you go back for families who this could have been done in at levels, like for instance,
Right. I was just gonna say.
if you didn't have to remove the furniture here,
No.
everybody, like if you don't want to go through that process, it's fine. You might just remove remove the window treatments, take off the wallpaper. In certain cases, we can even paint over the wallpaper, and and then just show off those wood floors. Maybe and the point is, you don't have to do the furniture if you don't want to. You could still achieve a level of success without doing that.
And even here, this was their own piano. We just opened it. Look how great it looks. Makes the room look that much more inviting and showing the multi-purpose of the space.
Right. So again, we use the word staging, but I like to use staging and styling interchangeably. It's like merchandising. And again, we always tailor it to your level of comfort,
Yeah. Someone else in the chat just said how simple just to paint and what a big
Just
difference
paint.
that makes.
Paint is everything.
Yep.
And the biggest bang for your buck.
Absolutely.
Next
Example.
one, same situation. Look at this where the cabinets sort of had that, basic pine feel. They were painted. Look at the difference in the backsplash. That is the same backsplash. It went from looking like you can't even see it to white and bright just by changing out the paint. Simple thing. Again, here's a great story too, highlighting the best feature. This home was put on the market then, and there were comments after the first day of showings that the eat-in kitchen space felt very small. We were able to jump into action really fast. We removed that heavy furniture. We brought in a simple table and chairs, took the carpeting out, and all of a sudden it felt light and bright, and we had multiple bids within.
Right, and I want to make a comment, like this kind of swap, we didn't charge our clients for this. This was basically a lot of agents, what I've seen is and I've been doing this since 2010. And a lot of times the only thing another agent can recommend is a price reduction. The price reduction is the absolute last thing we go to. We look at everything first. Everything we can do before we have to go to a price reduction is the most important thing. So this is a perfect example. And what was interesting is literally it was the day after that we changed the table and the chairs and we had bids. So it's again, it just, every time we do something like this, it goes to that enhancing the space, showing off the space, not selling the stuff. The flow and the function of the room are the most important things. The only other thing I want to say, Debbie, and you and Allison are being very, how shall I say this? Modest, humble. Yeah. A lot of times what happens, and I appreciate you all listening to this, is that we are the second, we're the second agents. You're a homeowner who's had a bad experience will come in and we'll assess what happened. We'll make recommendations and we'll adjust and we'll fix and we'll go back to market with a new and improved space. And the homeowner will see way more money than they did, than they ever thought they could. So it's important that it's not always price. Like you have to look at the whole story. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yep, it's okay.
Thank you. Yes, maybe we're a little bit humble, but that is exactly how you've always worked. And that's how we follow in your footsteps. And we've had success with it as well. Something simple like updating your electronics. We don't want your house to feel dated. We want your house to feel modern. We're not saying go buy brand new TVs, but if you have some old appliances hanging around, drop them off at the dump. It's time to go to the curb. And what are the things that are worth repairing or replacing? We certainly have been, we're not saying go and replace all of these things, but minor repairs can make for really better bang for your buck. If you've got cracked windows, if there's a hole in the wall, if the door doesn't quite close all the way, making the difference to update some of those things, you will recoup your investment on those things with the purchase and sale of your home.
And remember, this is also curb appeal. Big
All
time
about curb appeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the other favorite slide of mine, which touches back on the one where we said, what can you start with now? Mr. Clean Magic Erase is really magic. Sometimes that wall that you think might need to be painted is actually just dirty around the light switches and by the door handles. And redoing your grout, simple as that, going to the Target or the Container Store, buying containers, getting rid of your junk drawer and organizing it. Buyers open everything, and we want them to think that you have the neatest, cleanest, most organized home, because if it's clean where they can see it in the closets, they're going to assume that it's clean behind the walls where they can't see it.
Yeah, and everybody loves, by the way, the company that our go-to company who does, post-construction cleaning. She does regular residential cleaning, Lou's Corridor with the Corridor crew. She's phenomenal. So just, thank you, Lou.
Wait, she's here. She's here. Luz, say hi.
I know.
Hi, everyone.
Oh my
Hi.
God, I love Luz.
Yes, I have two of my clients, Allison and Julia, that are actually there. We do post-construction, we do deep cleanings, move-in, move-outs, and I know what to target when it comes to a house that when a realtor calls us and says, we need to get this ready for the market. So I have OCD when it comes to cleaning, so I make sure the light fixtures, the picture that you see before and after the walls of the bathrooms, that's something that we target. The knobs, the doors, light fixtures, the inside of the refrigerator instead of the oven. You can have an old refrigerator, an old stove. As long as it looks clean, it's going to be presentable.
And
That's
by the way,
a
buyers
relevant
do
point.
open the oven. They open the
do.
oven, they open the refrigerator, and they're checking to see how clean it is.
They are.
And even the basement, the utility areas, believe it or not, especially when you're buying a house, you want to know what you're going to get yourself into. So the any special just because of the purposes of that are in the ceiling, but the ones in the basement, you know, if you have any special storage unit or the back of the utility areas, we also make sure that that's pretty clean.
Awesome. Thank you, Luz.
Thank
And I
you so
also want
much,
to
Luz.
mention, Luz mentioned something that's really important, the utility room. And I also want to throw in crawl spaces. When buyers see that a utility room has no dirt collected in the corners, no cobwebs, or the crawl space, which nobody even uses, that the crawl space is impeccably kept, they really then think that the entire house is maintained at that point.
Absolutely.
Because
It's
those
like-
are the forgotten spaces.
Remember that house we had where it looked like you could eat off the floor in the utility room?
Yes,
Every
and
buyer was
every
just like,
buyer commented.
it was almost aspirational that they would hope that they would get a house like that and that they would
Yep.
be able to maintain it that way. And again, going back to curb appeal and the things that should be fixed, simple little touches like replacing the doormat, repainting the front door, changing the numbers on your house so that they look clean and visible, power washing the the side that might have been facing the sun that's a little bit green, all of those things, even refreshing the driveway, resealing your driveway are things that are going to end up getting you more bang for your buck. A little bit of elbow grease goes a long way. Again,
And I'm sorry, we also do the power washing. Okay,
Oh.
my brother handles that during the nice weather.
oh, thanks, Luz. That's good to know. And again, back to curb appeal, being able to put a little bit of mulch in the front of your house. If there's a bald spot on the lawn, throw a little seed down and let it germinate so that it looks clean. Trim your hedges. These are all simple things that make the buyer want to pull up and walk into their house. We've had buyers pull up to a curb and say, I don't want to go in. I'm going to move on. And that's what we definitely don't want. We want them in the door. But of course,
Absolutely.
we do that. So we would make sure that it looks good when we're representing you. So
Okay.
back to you, Allison. That's kind of like the
Thank you.
fun part. It is the work. We are partners in that. We're going to work together with you as a homeowner. We know it's overwhelming. People sometimes say, I just can't do it. It's too much. I'm not going to sell. But we will be there to help hold your hand and help you and take it little by little. We said one was a week and a half. It doesn't have to be a week and a half. The timeline can be much longer, and we'll be there along the way to help you and hold your hand. So I'm going to send it back to Allison now, and she can talk to you about once we've actually
Thank you.
gone on the market. What are we going to do now?
Oh my God. Well, this is where it really gets into the nitty gritty. So after all the prep, your home goes on the market, but the work doesn't stop there. So now is when we start doing our marketing, the networking kicks in, we're calling top agents, looping in our team agents, calling reservoir of buyers. Like I said, we have a pent up demand. And this all creates kind of like a pressure cooker, right, of excitement. Everyone knows that marketing is a critical part of home selling process, but it's not just about the social media or the ads. It's also photography, staging, as we just discussed, expert copywriting, all help to tell the home story. We consider targeted networking to also be a part of the marketing of a home, and we invest in a dedicated marketing team because we know it's essential to tell the story and to the right people. These are just some of our marketing tactics and strategies and a good checklist of what you should expect from an agent. According to Real Estate Tech Trends, 95% of people, millennials in particular, shop for their homes online. So as we said before, younger buyers are very visual. They like to do the Instagram swiping. They're watching HGTV. So photography has to work harder than ever before to attract the buyers. A high production value is expected from today's buyers. So quality photos actually create trust, sending a message that the home is quality too.
Something else, Allison.
Yes.
Want to add, we do have a full dedicated marketing staff as part
Yes.
of the team. So we have
Yep.
somebody who's a director of marketing and people who work under her who just help even with, you know, SEO and making sure our listings are reaching at the top of the search bar, at the top of Zillow, so that your house will continually get the most amount of exposure.
Absolutely. So part of the marketing is the video. So right now on social media, video is king. Okay. So we're doing the videos, we're doing 3D tours. We're also doing video drone aerial footage to show the location of your home. Part of the story is location, right? We always hear in real estate, location, location, location. Well, it's no longer just simply about the location of your home. It's also about the location of where your home is situated in the neighborhood, where it's situated in the county. It's about the lifestyle, right? So a lot of the buyers are looking for a lifestyle. They want easy access to highways. They're also looking for maybe commute into the city via train or bus stop. So they're looking for all of those. As we had mentioned in the very beginning of the presentation, Debbie and I are the local experts. We live in this area. We connect with potential buyers and we talk about the lifestyle, the neighborhood, and we even connect them with people and local businesses. So we're essentially creating a love letter for the buyers.
If you're in the Pascack Valley, you know how key it is that we are just right by the Apple store. That's
Yes.
like a huge
First freestanding Apple store. Fun fact.
built on the apple orchard.
That's
always
right.
my favorite story to tell about Woodcliff Lake.
Yeah. And if you know, you know.
You know, you know.
So,
Right,
also part of the story is your home's webpage, because again, buyers are online. They're doing everything online now. So with the homepage, we are creating unique URLs and QR code accesses. We are going paperless. So every client that comes in, they can scan the QR code and they can access the home's webpage. On the webpage, they're going to find the home's photos, video, the video walkthrough, 3D tour. There's also going to be a highlight sheet that we create for each of our homes, survey if there's one out there. Everything is accessible on the webpage. So we're doing social media, we're doing targeted ads, we're creating engaging content, and we're pushing it out on a regular basis to make sure that your home is front and center to all the buyers. For our luxury listings, we're also advertising in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and other major publications, including globally. Most importantly, we're connecting with the sellers on a regular basis. So we're going to be communicating with you on the weekly with a status report of how your home is performing on the market. Phase 3, the final step, but this isn't it. So we're on contract to close. This is where you get your accepted offer, but all the hard work really begins here. So during this phase, we're going to be literally holding your hand and we're going to be holding all the pieces together. I like to say as a realtor, we're kind of like your wedding planner. We're going to be communicating with all the attorneys, with the lenders, with the buyers, the appraisers, there's the inspectors. You have a lot of parts that are moving and we're going to be with you every step of the way. You will not be left alone during this time. Inevitably becoming our clients for life and hopefully our friends.
Our buyers are our friends. Our sellers are our friends.
I'm
Forever.
everybody. So now for the market update, which is what I think everybody has been waiting for. As you've all heard, we are still very much in a super sellers market. In fact, Zillow and Goldman Sachs are projecting that for 2022, the market is still going to rise between 13.5 to 16%. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are saying about 7.9%. Either way, it's slightly above historic norms. And based on the slides right here that we have, all of the towns in the Pascack Valley region are still significantly low in inventory. So you see the months of inventory, it's pretty crazy. Median sale prices though, up. I mean, look at Upper Saddle River, over 30%. Woodcliff Lake, nearly 15%. That's where Debbie lives. Debbie's like kicking butt over there. So she definitely is the reason that that median sale price is up.
So Allison, I just want to say, this is a 12-month year over year, right?
Yes.
COVID started in the middle of 2019, right? March 2019. this is a 12-month year over year.
Yep.
So, so that's what makes this incredibly interesting. And the only reason you're going to start to see homes sold go down is because obviously we don't have enough product.
Not enough
Right.
inventory. So, and even looking at these stats and listening to Allison quote some of those national stats, those are numbers for across the nation. Really to know about what's going on right here in New Jersey and Bergen County, and even in the Pascack Valley, we're really at the pulse of where that is. So call us if you want to know what's going on today in this market. We're happy to have the conversation and to review with you what's selling, why it's selling, what it looks like, and how that might affect you if you're getting ready to sell.
Absolutely. So we are coming to the end of our presentation. We are so excited that everybody joined us tonight. We know that your time is super valuable, and this is an odd time with dinner and family. So we appreciate your time, and we're going to open it up to any questions that you might have. And we just want to say that if you are thinking on selling in the future, definitely tap into us, because as we've been going over with this slide, the presentation, calling us sooner than later is definitely worth your while, so that you don't get overwhelmed with everything. We are here to help you push the easy button. So if anybody has any questions.
We can unmute also if anybody wants to actually even
Yep.
say a question or pop it into the chat. I think somebody was asking about paint colors. What if we're going to paint, do you have recommendations of paint colors? Somebody had asked me that earlier today. And we do. We have a palette that we work with that can work within the tones of what you already have in your home. So based on what your flooring looks like and your lighting and the other things in your home, we'll work within sort of a key palette that we do. And sometimes we'll even bring in, I have somebody local that I work with will come in and help us do a paint consult, who's a local interior designer. Because sometimes we're just not sure which white, and there are a lot of whites. So we have our go-tos, but then we'll always tweak it if we need to make it highlight your room even better.
That's absolutely correct.
Somebody
Okay,
says,
another
will you
one.
come see my home and give advice, even if it's not ready to sell right this second? That is an excellent question. And actually, yes, we are, both of us, as well as others on the team, have been working with people for over a year, even as they are making design decisions, or whether they should repaint the room in the same color that it was before, or helping to give them the names of organizers. We'll look at your space. We'll talk about what you can do, even if your timeline is a year or 2 years from now.
Yeah. I also want to mention something that somebody had asked me earlier today, and I thought it was good. They were wondering if this is a right time to buy, since it is a seller's market. And I addressed it by saying it's essentially a win-win for all, right? The sellers are getting more for their money than ever before, more bang for their buck than ever before. And the buyers have more buying power because interest rates are so low. They're no longer the 5%, we're at 3% now.
So, you guys, I don't think there are any more questions. You guys were just at an hour. So well done, Allison and Debbie. This
Thank you.
was, incredible. Gretchen, I'm looking at Gretchen because she looked like she was about to ask a question. Gretchen, do you want to ask a question? You have to unmute if you want to ask.
I do not have any questions, but thank you for inviting me. I just met Debbie last week at a house in Woodcliff Lake. We're sort of in the middle of staying or going. And so this was all very helpful.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome.
And yes, we could always come and take a look, even if you're not ready.
We end up becoming advisors to our clients over the years. I mean, that happens all the time. What client, a lot of times clients want to know what value a certain upgrade will have on a house. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So we go through all of that with our clients quite often. We are going to be reaching back out to everybody with some freebies and information that we promised you that will come in an email. And Debbie and Allison, I just want to say you guys did great. They were nervous. They were nervous.
I have a quick question. Who does your the staging the staging of the homes, because I love the furniture in every room that was changed. I would love to have the person come and do something here in my house. It's great.
It's our
Fiona where's Fiona? Fiona is on my stager. What's funny, Fiona, who's on the Zoom call. She is amazing. I've known Fiona for, I don't know, a long time now. And it's her genius that does it. It's interesting because staging and decorating are very different things. And that's where I could never be a decorator. Fiona probably would never want to be a decorator, but like we could walk into a space and just know what needs to happen in the eyes of a buyer, but I could never decorate a house. But these images you've seen are all from our girl Fiona, whose camera is off. But Fiona, we're going to give you a big round of applause, even though your camera is off.
Amazing work. Very, very good.
We've also, and again, I'm going to not be humble. We've had a lot of agents reach out to us and ask us if we're for hire to do it for other clients. And the answer is no. We just do it for our clients. So,
keep Fiona in our pocket.
Yeah, and all of our inventory and just the way it works. So yeah. Thanks, Luz. That was a great question. Anybody else? Okay, I know people's names. Danielle, any questions? Lisa's still here. Leslie, no. All right. Well, if there's no more
I just
questions,
had somebody just sent me a separate message.
message.
Great presentation. Can you please send me a copy because I want to share this with my husband?
Yeah. By the way, that happens a lot. We get that a lot. We have a lot of times where where one spouse will say, "Tell my husband he needs to get rid of all of his stuff."
We're not here to be
That
Or vice versa.
was sent to me privately, but I think it's relevant for everybody. So will we make this is a good question, Stacy. Will we make this?
We typically don't make it, we don't give away the presentation, but what we do is obviously happily go over it with your spouse, or at least give them a few pages. So we can work on that for sure. We'll figure it out. All right. Anyway, Deb, Allison, so awesome. I mean, amazing. Lisa, thanks for helping us. Fiona, thank you so much. And just, thank you, everybody. Please reach out to Debbie and Allison to come into the house as soon as you feel comfortable and let them just start having the conversation.
I will say one thing. Don't think that your house isn't ready for us to come take a look.
Yeah. No, we
There's zero judgment.
We have no judgment and we can see the space.
Right. We see opportunity where you might see problems.
We're not the millennial buyers.
Right. We see opportunities where you might see problems,
And
right?
we've seen it all.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you so much.